Hello, Glenn. This is Warren White. I'd like to wish you a happy retirement. And I also like to thank you for everything you've done for me while I was at Grambling, teaching me about photography. I got one last request. In your spare time, please send me your opinion on the pros and cons of using a roll of film or an SD card in the camera. I know you have a great opinion. I would like to hear from you. And also, I would like you to enjoy your retirement. Thank you.
Glen Lewis, let's start there. We called you Glen. You were approachable, a team player, and an insightful leader. During my experience as a political reporter and director of communications and a Capitol Hill lobbyist, as well as a Fortune 500 corporate executive, I learned from you to be a team leader. You were my first example of understanding how to excavate resources from within a young talent and helping that promising talent to go deep in order to pull out those gifts that they had not yet identified themselves. Being young and relatable, you understood what America needed during a time that societal construct was evolving for the greater good in America's final quarter and the winter of its 20th century. You understood that American society at that time would need well-prepared, intelligent black journalists to help shape an equitable narrative of a new century, and who would demand our place and define what that place would look like within that society. You shaped young people in the mid-1970s to become successful journalists, corporate leaders, and entrepreneurs by identifying raw talent and molding that talent and giving a group of young African Americans the tools they needed because you recognized that we would be among the first generation of minority journalists to integrate newsrooms in America. I've covered riots and I've been tear gassed. I've met with President Mandela, both Clintons, and both Obamas. I've met with Senator Ted Kennedy, and I was a staffer for Senator Dianne Feinstein when she was mayor of San Francisco, only months after graduating from Grambling State University. Recently, I've spent hours in conversation with Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders and major producers and major television network news teams. And most days, I am on the phone with some of the world's most influential leaders, and I am not intimidated because I was given the tools and the confidence in Jewett Hall. You prepared us for that media revolution, and now I am prepared to train and teach another group of young black communicators who are entering the next phase of the new media revolution. Without your deep journalistic insight, Glenn, we could not have succeeded. I could not have succeeded. And now we are responsible for ushering in the next generation of journalists with new communications tools, not waiting for snail mail to deliver a press release, but instead we're communicating on the spot through Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, you name it. The list goes on. And we do it as responsible journalists. Thank you, Glenn. One more thing. Those infamous C's, and I took a lot of your classes this semester, I pledge, they still haunt me. But you were also responsible for my first plane ride when I accepted the award on behalf of the Grambling Night for the best college feature writing. That's when we produced the first written history of Grambling State University during its 75th anniversary. All my honor goes to you for a career that was masterfully and superbly done well. I only hope, Glenn, that you are as proud of the fruit of your labor as we are of you. Enjoy your retirement, Glen Lewis.
In praise of Edward Glen Lewis upon his retirement. I came to GSU with lots of ambition, but not necessarily a plan. I knew the things I loved, the written word being chief among them. I loved books and the places they could take you. I literally remember loving reading and writing since getting my first A for a paper I wrote in Mrs. Bowie's fourth grade class. So when I stumbled across Jewett Hall sometime during my freshman year, it was clear this was the place I was destined to be. I picked up a Grambling night, and if I remember correctly, it was an expose on a campus drug bust. And on the cover was this dramatic photo of marijuana plants growing in GSU emblazoned milk cartons. Sadly, the cafeteria is where I worked that freshman year, but never again. The next semester, I signed up for journalism courses so I could break stories like that, and I never looked back. I spent every minute I could in that building, made some of the best friends I'll ever have, and literally found my calling. The written word has been one of the most important things in my career and my life, and I have Glenn and Mr. D to thank for that. It is because of my photography classes that there has never been a time in my life when I did not have a camera, although increasingly it's the one on my iPhone 6S. So many students would bug me about taking their picture as I trudged across campus with a camera around my neck that I learned a simple trick. Just pop the flash and they never knew you didn't take the photo. But seeing my name in a byline, especially on the front page, was heaven. And meeting every dignitary that came to campus, from Carl Rowan, the first person I saw eat fried chicken with a knife and fork, to Julian Bond, to Ralph Abernathy, to my hometown's Jesse Jackson, who I just talked with last week, shaped my ability to interact with anybody, no matter their real or perceived status. I had the privilege of working for a couple of newspapers before taking on a corporate career. Thanks for that internship at the Fort Myers News Press. But the writing and photography skills I perfected at GSU were integral to every job I ever took. At all of them, there was a camera in my desk. It never sunk in until now that you weren't much older than we were when you came to Grambling, so it's clear the institution shaped you just as much as it shaped all of us. I'm still not forgiving you, Glenn, for the grades you gave me the year I pledged, or your abrupt introduction to Chinese mustard, but I'm forever thankful for the skills you taught me and the instincts you instilled in me to keep shooting until I got the perfect shot. Glenn, I hope that in the next phase of your life, you get just as much as you gave to each of us. You took a great picture of us during our graduation processional, looking forward, presumably, into a bright future. Know that my future was largely shaped in part by you. Salute. Patricia Andrews Keenan, BA Journalism, 1977, former Grambling editor, forever GSU Tiger.
The nicest judges in Los Angeles County. You and Pete treated me with love and respect. You were both full of fresh ideas. You allowed me to seize the moment as a true journalist. Whether it was arguing with the president of the state chapter of the NAACP over merging with Louisiana Tech for desegregation purposes, exposing the hypocrisy of Ruston's outlaw of alcoholic beverages, or making the country aware of a lone man's quest for wisdom by creating an expansive library that was destroyed by fire in Arkansas. You allowed me to put myself into each assignment without any influential limitations.
Congratulations, Glenn. Faye Montgomery Bird, class of 1977 here. Glenn, I am so proud to have been a part of the GSU Journalism Department under your leadership. I remember the sweat, equity, and pride we journalism majors put into getting the Grambling night out every week. Those late Thursday night sessions, Glenn, taught so much, and of course made us a family. Again, congratulations on your retirement, Glenn Lewis. You truly, truly deserve it.